So apparently we got an update on the clavicular situation. Apparently my man fell for a trans woman, apparently. I'm not too sure how true that is, but I kind of want to take a look at it to see what's going on that. So I'm super curious on this update. Let me take a look at this. I am super curious. We got our boy Omizi giving us an update on this. Let me see.
Those Italians, was one of them trans? We won't talk about it again.
You guys been out with like male chicks?
No, it was 1.5 girls.
Oh, trans.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey.
No, I didn't. Stop.
You know what, Clavicular? I say good on you. You know why? Because it still is Pride Month. All the gender-affirming care that you do in your normal time is finally paying off. And it's coming through this June.
Thank you for the
I can't
follow.
believe this dude.
Look. There's no problem taking care of your skin and everything like that. Okay, all right. The problem is he goes a little way too far and above, in my personal opinion. You know, I'm just saying, goes a little too far.
In France. Last time we took a peek into Clavicular's Paris, France trip, it was exposing the gap between his looks-maxing persona and how he's actually coming across in public. He's getting dubbed left and right. That cool, suave demeanor that he thinks he has isn't landing with the women in France. And quite honestly, they look at him more of a nuisance.
It's because, well, yeah, they find him a nuisance, but at the same time, it's just kind of like, he just gives off like douchebag vibes, you know? He really does. Like, he generally freaking does, you know? It's just a guy who has it all up in his head, you know, and everything like that. Trust me. Actual women, like real women in general, don't like that kind of stuff.
Or an issue, somebody who shouldn't be tolerated and maybe even thrown water at. But now the latest and greatest news coming out of this France trip is him in the club kissing a woman and the internet going to immediately talking about whether this person is trans or not, even though he's already debunked it. Now let me be clear, whether or not he did kiss a trans woman or not is none of my concern. Hey, do what you do and like what you like, brother. I'm always a pro-love type of dude, and that's not what this channel is about. But to me, this situation highlights that the image is cracking. Clavicular keeps finding himself in situations that he clearly does not want to be in. And what made the first clip worse is that there was another clip that came out right after of Clav asking one of these young women if they are trans, and her response was interpreted by viewers as some sort of confirmation.
It's no disrespect whatsoever, but are you? Sure. Okay, I was wondering. I don't give a fuck about like.
Now, as a real French nigga, I know exactly what that means. Clavicular.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be straight up on. I'm gonna go back real quick. Trans or not, I'd still tap that, to be honest. Sí, gracias. No me hay ningún problema, hombre. Bien, gracias por, ¿cómo decir? Support? Apoyo? Oh, apoyo.
Give a fuck about like.
Now, as a
I'd
real
rather kiss my homies. But she's a homie, though. She's a homie. But a very attractive homie, though. I'm just saying, if I had one of my friends or so who completely turned to trans, like 100%. Well, the question is if they're even into women, actually, to be honest. So that's my curiosity. Because usually most of the times, 9 times out of 10, right? Well, I don't know. This is just me, okay? This is just me specifically. When I had someone who is trans or so, it's because well, number one, they're you know, it's a girl trap, you know. They feel like they're a girl, right? But then at the same time, they like guys, you know? So, but like most of the time, at least as a recently, right? They like to be trans, but then they like women still, you know? That's kind of like, well, for me, that's how I personally see it that way in this day and age. But most of the time when it comes to like the whole trans thing and everything like that, they usually like, you know, they want to date, you know, they want to date whatever, you know, if they think they're a girl or so, but they want to date a guy, well then, hey, be my guest, you know? That's how it usually has been. At least the people that I've interacted with anyway, so I don't know. That's just me though.
French nigga, I know exactly what that means. Clavicular keeps trying to control this image, but France keeps putting him in situations and moments where the internet can control it. If you're new to this and you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It's gonna go a long way for the channel. Oui, and baguettes, and escargot, and French fries, and French toast, and all the other things that go along with it. Do French people even wear this type of hat for real? Like, we gotta ask somebody from France. What is Rudy Gobert and Victor Wembanyama really saying? Now, back into the video. One other thing that I find funny about these guys on the internet who prop themselves up and make an appearance and an image about themselves is that it's all done behind screens. They built the image off of storytelling, maybe some paid confirmations, or maybe taking somebody else's life experience and sharing it on their platform and somehow garner an audience that is willing to believe all this shit. Mind you, they're trying to paint themselves as these ultra confident men from a live stream on a Friday night while you're watching the live stream on a Friday night and people are buying it. It never makes sense. That's exactly what Clavicular has done for the past few years. He's had this image made of himself, this confident guy, this masculine guy, this looks maxing guy, the guy who understands women, attraction, status, presentation.
I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but you do not understand women, okay? All right, that's all I gotta say. Hot take, trans are top tier SSS. If they can pull off the woman look, if they go like full 100% sending it, and you cannot tell that it's a guy, top tier, 100%, top tier, 1000%. That's all I gotta say about that. I'm like, if you pull off the look and you sound like it, and your mannerism is like it as well, shit, man. I'm like, hey, man, rock with it, you know? More power to you. All I gotta say is, god damn, you look amazing. So that's all I have to say. I just have to compliment to those. That's why I compliment about traps and femboys too as well, because they take care of themselves. They take care of their body, and I'm just kind of like, respect. That's all I gotta give you. It's just fucking respect in general.
Better than anybody else. But you see, France didn't validate that image that he made in America. He's having these awkward collabs. He's getting rejected left, right, and sideways, getting roasted by the locals. And I think most importantly, he's complaining about these European women simply because they're not rocking with him the way that he thinks they should. And now the biggest moment from that—
it's because he thinks that people in the European are the same as the Americans, but they're not, you know? And they don't like this specific mentality. This specific mentality they don't like whatsoever. I'd be very curious, the people who like live in the European section, right? All of like Europe in general, right? What they actually specifically think about Clavicular, you know, from watching him and from like specific clips and like the stuff that I've watched that I reacted to, and then they watched as well. I'd be curious what they think about him overall, you know?
Higher French experience where he was supposed to get his image validated is this situation in which he's having to run to the internet and explain himself. Now, there's a pattern behind all of this, because every new moment from France makes Clavicular look less like the man in control and more like someone trying to manage an image that keeps falling apart in real time.
And I said to myself, no more gold approaching, because like chicks want to have an ego and like do all this shit.
Clavicular is right now like that rapper or that guy who has bought some sort of watch or has some sort of designer jeans on or has the big and latest and greatest car and is going out in the streets and peacocking, right? Revving the engine, putting it in situations in which it can be visibly seen. But the difference is that he's finding out in real time that nobody actually cares about what he has going on.
But the weird thing about Paris that I'm noticing in Europe is everyone's like minding their own business. And like in America, people like look around and like are aware, but in Paris it's all like headphones, looking at the ground. Like I don't know what the fuck that's about.
All this work, all this money, and all this time, effort, and energy that he has put into a bit, into an image, into a personality is falling apart in real time because it's not getting validated the way he wants it to. He's expecting people to just stop and stare because he has some camera following him in the streets, or because
Dude, he really does think he's all that or so with his looks and everything. I shit you not. He really thinks he's hot shit just because he looks attractive in the US. I'm gonna be honest with you, if you try to compete in the Asian territory, of like just all of Asian territory, like overall, a good majority of them are not gonna enjoy your looks. Only some of them, like a good majority of some of them will, but a majority of them are probably not, you know? I assume it's the same thing in the whole European region. Like, there's some that like a smaller, fewer percentage compared to like the Americans will like you, but most of the time they really don't care. Mid South Korean smokes clav hands down. Yeah. No joke. Like there are some South Koreans or so that will fucking smoke this kid like no tomorrow, dude. Like literally, even fucking like don't get me wrong, right? I still think China takes it pretty fucking far ahead or so when it comes to their beauty standards and everything like that. It's the same thing with any Asian country, right? But like I'm gonna be honest with you, those Chinese men will fucking clean this guy.
Looks a certain way. I don't know. It's very self-centered, and it's almost like the pot calling the kettle black. He's saying that these European women have an ego whole time. What are you displaying? I think what really puts the cherry on top, though, is that these people aren't just ignoring Clavicular because they don't really give a fuck about, you know, the facial expressions that he makes or the fact that he has some sort of IRL backpack streaming and all this other stuff. They're even going out of their way to make fun of him for thinking that he's some sort of big deal hotshot.
Is your face hot? No. My job. Yeah, it's good to be your face. Yeah, you look good. You look great. What's happening? Why is it a different than it is up here?
Yes. Hey, follow.
You didn't want to. Oh, it's fake hot. What fake hand did you use?
He ain't no low tier god. Get your moggy face out of here. Get some rehydration on your face.
Oh, ridiculous.
When your whole persona is based on, you know, people coming up to you, validating you and your experience and your looks and the fact that you are doing the right things, and in reality, people aren't doing that, it weakens you. It makes you look lesser than. It makes you look uncomfortable because you didn't work on the things that, I don't know, may put you in a favorable light. It's not like he's, I don't know, working on not having a good personality or something like that. But all of the things that he does work on are surface level. So now the whole trip stops being about how Clav is judging France and how will they accept his look maxing peak dominance that he has worked on over the past couple years. No, it's
because they think that looks, like the whole like looks maxing in general, can get you anything. That's the reason why. They literally think it can literally get you anything. Power, women, success, you know, and all this other stuff. Like there is to some degree, don't get me wrong, right? There is something to that sort of degree, only up to a limit or so. But then afterwards, you know, it's not like that, to be honest. And even then, his personality is just not that great, in my personal opinion.
It's more like France is judging Clav because he looks ridiculous. He's always looked ridiculous. And he's even hypocritical in a lot of his stances.
Organic food is so no cap. Bro, this is like not even edible. Or what the bun falling apart? Like motherfuckers are wearing like a bow tie and a dress down suit like to serve me some dog shit.
Oh, the
What?
inedible gimmick. Mind you, this is somebody that's supposed to be like looks maxing, do what it takes to be
Well,
better.
it's because the guy had a lot of self-consciousness about his looks when he was younger. Let me remind you, when he was in high school, literally, I shit you not, dude. I shit you not. Listen, pay attention, fucking chat, okay? All right? Pay attention, YouTube audiences as well, all right? I shit you not. High school is supposed to be the weird, awkward phase, okay? It's fine. It's like you're going through a metamorphosis, okay? All right? Everybody had that. Some people had a ton of acne. Some people were weird. Some people had braces, you know? Some people had, you know, maybe they were fatter and they became skinnier, you know? It's the same thing, you know? High school is the time when you're growing into your body. Yeah, exactly. It's like you're going through a metamorphosis. It's just the same thing. It's the same as the story as the ugly duckling. Like at a phase, you grow into something that you want to be when you grow up. Of course, you know, but it all depends on your eating habits, your skincare routine, your exercising daily, making sure that, you know, you don't lose your flexibility, you know, you don't gain a ton of weight, you take care of yourself, all this other stuff. That's literally is what it is. That's all it generally is. It's okay. High school is just how it is. It's a metamorphosis phase, okay? Just let it go. afterwards, once you you've taken care of yourself and not let yourself go and anything like that, you'll be a completely different person when you're in the adulthood. You're not going to be the same. Trust me. When I was in high school, I had a really destructive mindset that made me identify with skinheads. What? That's
in real
wild.
time and make you look the best and feel the best. That's what's supposed to be at the forefront. But I guess if it's not some peptides or some GLPs or something that he can inject or bash in his face, Clavicular's not down with it. All right, so now I have a question for the viewing audience out there. If you have built this entire image up about yourself, talking about looks maxing and this peak male physique and form and all these other things, and you go out there and test it in the real world and it's not being validated, the people aren't messing with the persona, people are laughing at you, throwing drinks at you, all these other things, what would you do? Would you go home, go back to the drawing board and rethink the way that you have gone about life? You know, maybe say I need to take some different stances? Or would you double and triple down? If you picked go home and reevaluate your life and your choices, then you're most likely a sane, reasonable, and rational person. But if you pick double down, well, you're probably clavicular. Earlier in the video, I mentioned I know exactly why the kissing a trans woman clip got so popular and actually even happened in the first place. Since clavicular isn't being validated by the regular—
I'll be honest with you, I ain't gonna lie, she's pretty fucking attractive, to be honest. I'm just saying it, okay? All right? I'm just gonna say it out there, okay? I'm just thinking outside of my mind, okay? All right? She is pretty hot, though.
For his ideology and thought process.
But it is pretty funny that Mr. Clavicular literally got mogged or so by a female that wasn't even a female, it was a guy. So that is pretty funny.
Process that he regularly shares on the internet. He had to force situations, he had to force interactions, he had to force conversations with different people. And for what it's worth, they come off as awkward as fuck.
Women are actually like more sexually attracted to you if you're on testosterone because of like the pheromones you produce from sweating. So like, I don't want to give you the wrong idea, you know what I'm saying? So like, I'm just like, all right, let me put some deodorant on real quick. You know,
I ain't getting no ideas.
Now I'll give Clavicular this. This is a—
Oh. Is that really what you're going to say to a girl? Oh my god, dude. That is wild to hear that, to be honest. Yeah, I need to like not sweat or so like my pheromones don't attract you, because like ladies like the pheromone or so, you know? It's just okay. Oh, they like the sweat of men, you know, the pheromone just, it's so increasingly, it makes your pussy ache, you know? God, Jesus Christ. This guy is so terrible with women. Jesus Christ.
W move by him, not necessarily because of him saying that he doesn't want to omit testosterone and all this other stuff, and because that women produce pheromones. No, that shit is weird. You shouldn't have to be explaining why you're putting deodorant on. The reason why is because Paris is going through an insane heat wave that is actually claiming people's lives. So this is a smart move. You're gonna be stinky. But in this clip and other clips with Sophie Rain, I think that it shows the stark difference between being confident and narrating your actual confidence. Have you ever been out in public and you've accidentally locked eyes with a stranger? I don't know, maybe you were looking out into the distance and this person crossed your eyesight, eye line, and then you guys locked eyes, and then they looked at you and said, ew, I got somebody, you're ill. First and foremost, if they said ew to you, then hey brother, you got something going on. But second, if they made a statement like, oh, I've got somebody, I've got a girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever the case may be,
Biology,
yourself, who do you think you are? That's basically clavicular in this situation. Get any ideas about you sweaty in these Paris streets? Come on, clavicular. Didn't Sophie Rain say she had an NBA player offer her $15 billion for the cat? And you think she's gonna fuck with you, stinky man? Oh my God. If he wasn't forcing it already, I think this next clip really highlights and emphasizes how much clavicular needs these interactions to look good for his viewing audience.
Could I have Diet Coke with tequila in it? I'm shaking, dude. We also have 6 shots of tequila. Shots of tequila?
6 shots of tequila, yes.
Yeah. And can you bring 6 more every 5 minutes?
What is wrong with you?
6 shots of tequila every 5 minutes?
What the fuck? 6 shots of tequila? What?
minutes. Look, I'm not a drinker, like not at all, but I can spot when somebody is uncomfortable and trying to force situations. Guys, I cannot emphasize to you how
This guy is
hot it is
terrible.
in Paris right now. There are people actually drowning because they are attempting to cool themselves down. Paris even had to halt alcohol sales because of the extreme heat that's going on right now. But that's not gonna stop a guy who needs to make a point. You can see Sophie Rain pull a fan out like, yo, brother, it is hot as fuck, and this is like what you wanna do right now? Now, as somebody who was once a young man himself and has interacted with other young men, I know that people use alcohol as liquid courage, especially in front of the huzz. And I think that's exactly what Clavicular is doing and will continue to do for the rest of
All I have to say is if you have to use alcohol or so for you to be, you know, comfortable to talk to a woman, you need to work on yourself. That's all I have to say about that. Because that's just a coping mechanism.
this Paris trip. Because it's not working here, I've got to force this situation there. And the only way for me to force this situation is if I take a little drink to, you know, knock the edge off. Even if it could cost me my fucking life. But you know what? That's superstar Sophie Rain. So maybe Clavicular needed some help gaining control of the situation. What happens if he's just hitting the night out on the town and runs up on two regular women? He should easily be able to master that, right? After mastering lip maxing and understanding women to the fullest, he should easily be able to, you know, control that situation.
Where'd they find you guys?
Boyfriends.
Yeah, boyfriend.
We have boyfriends.
Oh damn, I don't give a fuck.
Well, I do.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I care a lot. Actually, I love my boyfriend.
We already know you're out here. Alright, okay, let's go to VIP.
You see what I'm saying about the forcing thing now? You understand?
Jesus Christ. Literally, the girl is saying, I have a boyfriend, and then the dude is just still pushing it and be like, well, I don't care. Dude, you're a douche, bro. You're literally a douche. That's all it is to it, bro. Like, I shit you not. You're just a bad fucking person doing this. Why are you even bothering doing this, bro? Like I said, it's fine to take care of yourself, like to take care of your looks and everything like that, to what you can manage and to a degree, right? But like going this far in general, what he does, it's like, come on, man. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, are we serious here? You literally are that person from high school. You're just like the jocks in high school. That's all you really are, dude.
The situation is mad awkward. Clavicular presses them and gets what should be a natural rejection.
Well,
Yo,
yeah.
are you available? Oh, no, I have a boyfriend. Oh, okay. Shakes hand, moves on. No, instead, he continues to press the boundaries, push and push and push.
Yep.
Why? Because he needs to come off a certain way. He needs to maintain a certain image, even if it means disrespecting somebody's
dumb.
committed relationship. I think this is
it's so
weird, though,
dumb.
because I didn't get alpha male or top dog or,
Nope.
you know, somebody who's figured out women in that situation. I got somebody who is overzealous and needs to prove a point to the tune of straight up disrespecting somebody,
Yep.
which I found to be extremely weird. He's claimed to be this guy who has mastered social dominance, but the real interactions keep showing that he is lacking social awareness. All right, question number 2. Now, this is only a 2-question test. You're in this same situation as Clavicular. You're getting proven left and right that you are wrong, that this isn't a place for you, that the model that you've been going with for the past couple years is not working. So you got 2 options. You could go home, get back to the drawing board and rethink everything, or you could double down in what you stand on and look to shift the blame. What do you do?
I'm misogynist, but the French are literally killing women, right? How does it even make sense? Hey, ladies, you know, have a beautiful night. So let me get this straight. I go up, I say, you know, you ladies look beautiful. They go up and literally stab them to death, and I'm somehow the bad guy in France. It's like, let's keep the women of France safe, okay? Let's protect them. Let's advocate for them.
Who told you to shoot that shot? At this point, Clavicular is
I bet you if he tries to do the same thing in Mexico, he's probably gonna get slapped by a Mexican woman. That's all I have to say about that, you know?
totally spiraled. It's out of control at this point. He is now making up narratives. I had to look this up. I swear to God, I had to look this up because I didn't know if what he was saying was true. Maybe what he's saying is true. Maybe the women in Paris, France should be on the lookout because there are just people running up on them and there's some sort of poking epidemic that is going on. I had trouble.
True. Actually pretty true, depending on the area, of course, you know? And after that, all the Mexican bros are gonna laugh at him. That is very true, actually, to be honest.
Finding it. I don't know. Maybe he's seen it. But what it seems like to me is that he's trying to shift blame and reframe things because
all I have to say is, don't get me wrong, he's a pretty attractive guy, but the problem is his fucking attitude towards everything is the most shittiest attitude ever. So it just makes him look ugly, you know? He looks good. He looks pretty good on the outside, but my god, on the inside he's the most ugliest person I've ever met ever, to be honest, or I have ever witnessed.
Is desperate. He's desperate because the image that he's been trying to portray is falling apart in real time. It was a situation in which a fan asked him for a picture and did the classic, you know, mogging, mewing face, the sucking the cheekbones, and you know, they did that right next to him. And
What?
you would think, based off of Clavicular's criticism, that this guy just committed murder.
No, it's because these guys look so when they do these fucking faces. It's like, bro, you're not walking around like doing all the squinting bull. It's like whenever someone comes up to me for a picture, I don't change my face. Like, dude, I you know, it's like, cause it's weird. It's like, what the you don't look like that. You do not look like that. Stop trying so hard.
Big bro, you're just mad that you got mogged to death by a 10. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It's funny because these people are actually imitating Clavicular. Like, they are.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that this guy does have a girlfriend too, and he's still trying to hit on other girls. I just thought this guy was single, to be honest. It doesn't occur to me that he actually has an actual girlfriend, dude. That's wild, dude. I don't know. I would feel so, I would have left him a long time ago. I feel so disrespected if I was dating somebody like this. I straight up would, to be frankly honest.
Are saying that they want to be you, but because the ego is so fragile, you're taking this as more of an insult as opposed to some sort of flattering comparison. It's actually funny to watch in real time. I'm not gonna lie. I'm telling you, the only reason why Clavicular even has this perception right now is because people are starting to see through the veil of what he is. Now you have all these clip pages making fun of him, social media making fun of him. That whole trans woman kissing situation might have even been fake, but the clip pages don't care about that. They're willing to boost and run up a narrative about you. Why? Because now you've become the social media punching bag. And this is different than when you were punching yourself in the face in order to make yourself look like the best version of you possible. No, this is when everybody thinks that they can just kick you while you're down, make you a joke, run up on you and take your hat, run up on you and accost you about your thought processes and ideologies. And I don't think that people should be running up on you taking your hat for what it's worth. This type of hat, this beret is a very nice type of hat, if I do say so myself. But it just shows how badly this whole public dynamic has shifted for you. It went from being this guy trying to judge France to becoming someone people feel comfortable trolling in public. That's the real issue with this whole trip, is that Clavicular came to try to be a critic and take on France as some sort of spectacle. All the while he became a spectacle himself. Not the one that he normally is in America, but one that people are looking at as more of a joke. Clavicular's whole France trip is hilarious because it gives people this exact opposite image that he is trying to portray in his brand. He's supposed to be this confident, looks-maxing success story. But in France, he keeps looking uncomfortable, defensive, socially awkward, and weirdly insecure. The issue isn't how bad that Paris, France has made Clavicular look, but the issue is Paris exposing the flaw in the whole entire image. Looks maxing can change your face, it can change your body, it can change how you present yourself online, but it can't automatically make you charismatic. It doesn't change, you know, the internal flaws that you might be dealing with that are far more important to, you know, socially interacting with people. It can't make people like you. And I don't think forcing the issue is the best way to make people like you either, if I do say so myself. I'm trying to control the narrative of I'm such a macho guy, I can kiss somebody in a random club because that's what all the cool kids are doing. Now has people running around making this viral caption about you kissing a trans woman. And now you're spiraling reacting to it. I got news for you. I ain't gonna lie, I got a message for you. Just it's still
That is pretty crazy in my personal opinion. And I don't know, man. It's just kind of like, you know, it's just kind of funny in general. Like the guy is just so self-conscious because, you know, they're making fun of him specifically. And instead of rolling with the punches and everything, he's just going to try to like argue against the internet. I'm like, you don't argue against the internet. If you try doing that, you're just feeding the trolls at the end of the day. But whatever, he is a young kid at the end of the day, so he's not going to know the rules on the internet. I don't think this kid knows. I think we should probably teach all the new people on how the rules on the internet work, to be frankly honest. Does not surprise me, not a single bit, to be honest, chatos. There are just some things that just doesn't surprise me with this guy. He thinks he can mog all of France and everything, and it's just kind of like, brother, you can't. Okay, whatever, man. Teach him especially Rule 34? Yes. Moral of the story: if a trans woman talks to you, you've won the lottery. Well, not for some people. There are just some people who don't like trans women. They just want the normal biological women at the end of the day. So, which makes sense. It's understandable. But like at the end of the day, the problem is that like they were basically like making fun of him about it, and then he decided to respond. He decided to respond about it. It's just they're like literally like I think personally he's not really into that. There are some guys that are into it, but there's some that are not into it, which you gotta respect. You gotta respect the boundaries at the end of the day. But problem is the dude decided to argue against the internet, and well, Lord of behold, we got this so far. So, but yeah. Anyways, that's the end of the video. You guys can comment, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazzy stuff. Honestly, I am not surprised about this dude accidentally. Well, yeah, I guess you can say that. I guess he kissed a trans person, and then he's going all defensive mode about it, and it's kind of pretty hilarious though. But yeah. Anyways, that's the end of the video, and yeah, stop doing these weird mogging shit or fucking what is it, looks maxing or so. Let it go. Just let it die, okay? All right, we don't need it. Anyways, that's the end of the video, and peace.